Good morning, 7th graders. This video is going to go through the lesson plan for today since I'm out on Wednesday, the 6th of November. So in front of you here, you'll see the doc that is posted also on the same entry into Google Classroom, and it's an introduction to natural selection and evolution. So there are 4 parts to this assignment today, each part using a different link to get you to a website to complete some sort of task. Each of the tasks are quite different from each other. So I'm going to go through them real quickly here with you, give you some of the pointers to do and things to look at, and then we'll move on from there, okay? So part 1 here is getting some of the terms that are probably a little bit unfamiliar with you and going through and making definitions off of this website, which comes from actually the University of Berkeley, which is a pretty well-known university. So this is it's not an easy read by any means, but I'm going to go through here and show you what parts you need to look at it in the on the website. So let me click on the link here and let's take a look at it. So on this website, it's just a reading, and there's pictures and diagrams, and it's going to help kind of introduce what evolution is and evolutionary changes that we've seen in organisms over time. And the vocab chart is there not because they go through really and define all those words in the reading. They do for some of them, but there's other words on there on that vocab chart that they just talk about in the article here on the website that they're assuming you already know. And I'm going to assume that you don't know them. And so you might have to look them up on another website or Google them or something just to get a basic understanding of what they are. Use the context then from this site to craft your own definition to put in the document. As you're going through this, okay, the whole point of this is just to read it. So I know the vocab chart is there and you see that you have to complete that. But if you only do the vocab chart, you're not going to get anything from this. So you literally need to read this. And so if you're working by yourself, you're going to go through read it by yourself. Obviously, if you're reading it with a partner, if you're working with a partner, figure out how you guys are going to read it, whether it's one person reads a whole page or you still just read it by yourself. But reading is the task of part 1 more so than the vocab. The vocab's just there to help you understand the reading. So, and I forgot to mention that too. If you wanted to work with a partner today, when this video is done, you can work with a partner. But if you'd rather work by yourself, you can work by yourself. No matter what, everyone has to fill out a doc and complete it. All right, so as you're going through here, there's a number of pages that you're going to go to. It starts you on the first page, and then as you go through it here, there's these next buttons at the bottom, and I think there's 5 pages that you got to go to. Here's the history of life, family tree, phylogenies, understanding phylogenies, part 2 of that, and then trees, not ladders. And this is the last page to read, and it tells you that here in the doc, stop after reading the section trees, not ladders. Okay? And like it says, number 2, complete the vocab chart below. Some of the terms are in the reading, but you will have to look elsewhere for a definition. To understand the reading fully, you need to know these words. And that's why the vocab chart is there, so that you understand the reading a little bit better to get you an introduction to evolution. That's what the whole point of part 1. Okay, let's take a look at part 2, peppered moths. For this, okay, you click on here, and this is a website, and it takes you through the very famous research done by some scientists on peppered moths. I don't want to really go into it any more than that. I want you guys to read through it and figure it out on your own. But you're going to read each section, and each of the following sections I have as a heading here. So the first section is going to be called Life Cycle of a Peppered Moth. Second section is pollution in peppered moths. Then third, Dr. Kettlewall tests natural selection. And the reason I have A, B, C here is because I want you on the site, after you're reading through it, to record important notes or facts. So you're going to go through and you're going to read those, and you're going to put in 3 facts in each section. There's only 3 sections. Okay? The very last thing to do is that they have a little simulation at the end for you to try and play around with. That's part 2. Part 3. Part 3, when you click on it, if you use your computer, it's gonna look like it'll work because most of it does work on your Mac, or I'm sorry, on your Chromebooks. But the actual simulation itself won't work because of the Flash player, and it just won't appear. So it's not like an error or something will come up. It just literally won't show up, and you might not be sure what's going on. So you got to use the MacBooks for these. Okay, so use a MacBook. Take turns in your partner, and what you do is you literally are going to build different fishes, and they let you choose the body type, the mouth type, the color, and then for the outcome, you're telling me what happened, or you're telling me how well this fish survived, if it didn't survive, why it didn't survive. Okay, you might need to play around with it a little bit first to kind of understand, well, how do I swim? What do I do to eat? Make sure you look at the directions on the site. It's going to tell you like what spacebar is, I think, and what return means. And obviously you use your cursors to kind of swim the fish around. But obviously the goal is to keep the fish alive. And so it's going to go through and it's going to tell you something. So you might want to practice a little bit before you actually fill out this chart below. But then do 3 different fish. Change them up so you can see some of the results. And how some of the variation causes some various outcomes. Okay, and then the last part is this short video. I didn't put any questions there. I just want you to watch it, but it's kind of interesting. It's about the ghosts of evolution. So it's some of these things that are still around that probably shouldn't be around because the organism that was the main organism in its food web isn't there. But humans have kept this around because we've wanted to keep it around. So they're going to go through and talk about some of that. It's kind of interesting to hear things, especially the part about avocados I think is really interesting too. Okay, that's the work for today. Go through and do your best to try to complete this today. It is not homework. It's not homework. But I am expecting you to show that you were working through the period and not wasting your time or doing other things. So make sure that you're working on this task, not on other things, and stay on task to get some stuff completed. And then I will be back tomorrow on Thursday. All right, have a good day. I'll see you then. Bye.